And we're back with the Classic Auto Mall Show from the Classic Auto Mall Studio, Morgantown, PA, joined by our weekly guest, Mr. Keith Martin. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you
Pleased
today?
to be here.
I'm pleased to have you here. So, down to 3, your latest blog. Are you getting a little fidgety? Are you a little jiggity about this? And only 3 cars? What are you going to do?
Well, I started at 13.
Well, that's an odd number, so you don't want to do,
Yeah, no, what I've tried to figure out, I need to drive cars that are easy for me to drive.
Right.
And that the new Porsche is easy. My Hyundai is my everyday car is easy. My Alfa S4 automatic is easy. So I've just had to stop and think, all right, I've got all these cars, and which ones do I actually drive?
Right. But that's what it comes down to. Is it sitting there getting passed by to go to something else? Eventually you say, why do I need that car in my collection or in my space?
Well, because each car adds its own series of I drove my new Porsche out. We put on a little Porsche run, and we picked up a nail in the tire.
Oh, failure is one thing. Stupid crap like that you just can't control. There's no way to know ahead of time. That's just the irritating part. The old nail in the tire trick just really ticks me off.
Well, and then it affects the wheels. So I'm at Les Schwab tires. They quote me $1,500 for a set of rear tires for the car. I make a blog about it. I get all these people telling me I could have gotten them so much cheaper somewhere else. And I said, well, I'm sitting in the parking lot of a tire shop.
Yeah. If you can place me at that right moment in another tire shop that can do them cheaper, then I'm all in. Otherwise, I'm getting the thing fixed now.
Going to the guy who's offered to keep the car overnight saying, oh, by the way, can you match discount tires price on this?
Yeah.
I was stuck.
Yeah. You had to do what you had to do, right? And of course, in downsizing, you had another reason to it because your HOA, the Morlocks, are love that, have decided that trickle chargers are not safe for the whatever. Have we ever heard of a trickle charger exploding? I'm just curious. I've never heard, so I was just curious if maybe you'd heard.
No, I would like to take the people with electric bikes and put them in one room and surround them with those lithium-ion chargers.
I like that a lot. Listen, a lithium-ion charger makes absolute perfect sense to me, and I don't understand why it doesn't make sense to everybody else. But whatever it is whatever it is. So the Hyundai Elantra, though, I hear lots of people say what a great car that is, and it for most people you would look at it and you wouldn't give it a second glance. But there's something gratifying about something that's reliable and easy to drive and easy to park and easy to maneuver. And if you get a scratch on it, you're not going to freak out.
Well, it's got the reason I bought it 5 years ago. It's just paid off this month.
So it's time to get a new car and get a new payment, right?
So I've put 12,000 miles on it in 5 years.
Wow. You must live close to work.
It really, it's been totally reliable. It was the new gen when it came out, and it had all sorts of safety features like people in your lane, people in front, people in back. And I find that I want those things when I'm doing my daily driving these days, and Apple CarPlay, heated seats, the whole. It's really been I call it my golden retriever.
Right, exactly. And it's funny that you should say that because I was driving a car the other day that didn't have warning signals when you change lanes and all that stuff. And I started to change lanes. Just in my head, I was in the new car, but I wasn't. I was in an older car, and there was somebody right beside me. And luckily, I just happened to glance over and realize, oh, crap, there's no warning device on this car. That's the only downside of these warning devices and these aids, if you will. You better make sure that you remember what car you're in.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I can't tell you how many times when I get in a car that I haven't driven in a while, and I don't know, where's the shifter? Is it a knob? Is it a button? Is it a stick? Is it on the column? Is it on the dash? Do I have to blink twice and turn around and can't figure out how to start the damn thing?
What warning lights am I waiting for?
Right. Yeah. Nothing worse than that warning light that just all of a sudden pops up because they seem to be, in the old days they were a little faded and you might not even notice them for a little bit. And boy, now they come on and you're just like, oh no, what can that possibly? It's never good.
It's never good.
It's never ever.
Even when you wipe the codes out yourself, it's never good.
Yeah. Is there non-ethanol gas in your part of the world? Can you buy non-ethanol gas?
There is.
Yeah, they here too.
There's an app called Pure Gas on your phone, which will point you to the nearest non-ethanol gas station.
Oh, I like that a lot. You know, it's amazing that, especially for cars that don't run very often, if you're letting them sit for a while, the moisture in the fuel, and a lot of people will start their car up, but they won't let it run long enough for the moisture to get out of the exhaust system. And therefore, you got rusted out exhaust because you got water piling up in the low points of the exhaust system.
Yeah, we try with the Lotus and with my Giulia Spider Veloce. The shop they're at, they start them once a month and warm them up.
Yeah, and you got to get them warm and do all those things. You know, it's not easy owning more than one car. I mean, I know that sounds boohoo, you know, rich guy problem, but it really is. There are times when you wish you had one.
I agree with that.
You know,
it's the problem is there's always somebody's tire pressure is always going down.
That's true. Why does the one tire on my wife's SUV decide to go when it gets cold from 42 psi to 28? And it happens every year, and it happens when it gets cold, and you go and you air it up, and it's just fine. There's nothing wrong with the tire, but apparently something. And tires, you can't visually tell a low tire anymore. It's not like the good old days.
Yeah, yeah.
Used to be you could look at a tire and you go, oh my God, that thing's low. Not anymore. They all look normal, and that's why you got
those low sidewalls on them.
Yeah, exactly. Which are, you know, love to hit that expansion joint on the turnpike with one of those.
I would be happy with all my cars if I had three, the Hyundai for regular and the Porsche and the Alfa. The Alfa Club and the Porsche Club are both very, very active, and so that gives you there's value in use.
Yeah. What's
the point in having these cars if you're not taking them out and using them?
Right, exactly. Well, and the good news is, like you said, I mean, they're automatics, or the Hyundai and the Porsche, you know, are automatics. They got power steering, power brakes. They got nice stereos, which is important.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we liked our music just as much as we like the sound of a car. And a Porsche 911, I mean, there's sound at the upper end, but in the lower regions, it's not very throaty or voicey.
Well, my car has the fakey-do exhaust system on it.
How's that?
Ridiculous.
You mean ridiculous good or ridiculous bad?
I don't know. You know, you fire the car up in the condo basement, and I look at myself and I say, I did this when I was 18 years old.
Rev it a couple extra times just to make sure they know it's you.
Well, you know, it's an exhaust cutout on that car.
Oh, yeah, right.
That was an extra $2,500 when it was new. And so it opens the exhaust up when you're sitting at idle in the garage.
I love that. Your neighbors must really love you.
Yeah.
Do you get fruitcakes every December for Christmas? And
my HOA board is full of fruitcakes.
Oh, you just give them back the fruitcake when you give that they gave you the year before, because nobody eats those things, right?
Yeah, the expired by date is the 23rd century.
Somebody said something. They found there was a wreck of some type, and they found a jar of olives or something, and they were like 3,000 years old, and they tried them. They said it wasn't bad, you know, it tastes a little bit like chicken. So, when are you doing the have you set a date for the IMS Barry?
No, the right now my 1975 911S is going up on Bring a Trailer, so they're prepping that car.
Right, that's right. I forgot about the 911S.
So that car, which is really the most fun car to drive, it's got no power steering, no power brake, no AC. You know, it's a lot of work to use. But once that goes, then they'll turn the attention around to the C4S and just tell me how many thousands of dollars it'll be.
I think they have payment plans now for that kind of thing. So I've been told.
Well, I think I told you my with all my cars, I have a barcode on the windshield. Right. When I drive by the shop, it just takes $2,000 off the account.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's
toll booth.
That's sensible. And then at the end of the year, they either owe you money or you owe them money, and that's kind of like the IRS. You know, you at some point in time, somebody came up with a system
I've never been to the they owe me money.
No, I think one time that happened, and then they sent me a letter and said, "Sorry, that was a mistake. We regret sending you that letter." My dad loved to mess with the IRS. They would get him on capital gains or something. And when I was a kid, I didn't even know what he was talking about. But he'd write him a letter And then they'd write him a letter back and say, it'll take us about 6 months to go through this letter, and then we'll give you a response. And then give him a response, and then he'd respond to that letter. This drug on.
Not only that, this is in reference to a case that was 8 years ago.
Yeah, right. The interest, you hope you can, beat them out of the interest or something to that effect. So anyway, hope all is well in your world, and we'll look forward to catching you next week on the Classic Auto Mall Show.
Here's a special offer from Sports Car Market Magazine. Get a 6-month subscription for just $19.95 by going to sportscarmarket.com/test drive and the number 6. That's sportscarmarket.com/test drive 6. If you're a buyer, a seller, or just general classic car enthusiast, publisher Keith Martin says,
we've been around almost 40 years. It's the Wall Street Journal of the collector car world.
Activate your 6-month trial of Sports Car Market Magazine by going to sportscarmarket.com/test drive 6. Offers for a limited time. Be in the know with Sports Car Market.
The Classic Auto Mall Show with their host, Stewart Howden. Available on classicautomall.com, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.